In the previous episode, we established that John Malone is a racist, at the head of a racist company, Liberty Media. We did this by exposing his history of profiting from fanning the flames of racial discord, through providing the platform that the likes of Steve Bannon used to propagate their message of white supremacy, wrapped up in lies, dog whistles and racist violence. This platform propelled Donald Trump to the presidency, and Mr. Malone was evidently so pleased with his efforts that he became one of the biggest donors to Trump's inauguration. The fact that an acclaimed libertarian distorted the truth for profit, in support of the election of a president, who later attempted to overthrow democracy, to become an autocrat, says everything there is to say about Malone's profit without boundaries philosophy. It is therefore no surprise that several failed attempts to undermine the only black driver in F1, who also happens to be the most successful and greatest driver in F1 history, culminated in the Abu Dhabi fiasco. Yes, we are contending that from the outset, John Malone and Liberty Media sought to undermine Sir Lewis Hamilton, by using the dark arts of media manipulation which Malone is renowned for. We are contending that John Malone and Liberty Media, from experience, knew that they would be able to promote F1 to the white supremacist market that they knew so well, with Lewis Hamilton removed or defeated. We will now set out our evidence in detail, including Liberty Media's own statements, reports and actions, to expose their lies and misrepresentations about Sir Lewis. From the outset, Liberty Media's assertion that the dominance of Mercedes-Benz and Lewis Hamilton was killing the sport was a red herring. An unsubstantiated opinion that Liberty Media knew to be wrong, but understood reverberated well in the echo chambers that resented Sir Lewis Hamilton's success. This assertion runs contrary to the fact that historically, periods of dominance have been the norm rather than the exception in F1. For example, in recent history, Renault engines dominated from 1994 to 1997, with Renault winning the manufacturer's title 4 years in a row. Furthermore, all the top 4 drivers in 1995 were using Renault engines. From 1999 to 2004, Ferrari won 6 manufacturers' titles in succession, while Michael Schumacher won 5 drivers' titles in a row, from 2000 to 2004. 2005 and 2006 belonged to Renault and Alonso, while 2007 and 2008 belonged to Ferrari. From 2010 to 2013, Renault returned to dominance with Red Bull Renault and Sebastian Vettel winning the manufacturers' and drivers' title 4 years running. Critically, John Todt, one of the architects of the Ferrari domination, who went on to become the FIA president, initially rebutted all suggestions that Hamilton and Mercedes' dominance was killing the sport, but changed his tune shortly after Liberty Media bought the rights to F1. It is also a matter of public record that F1 suffered a decline in television viewing figures because of the move from free-to-air television to pay TV. Liberty Media themselves are on record saying that Bernie Ecclestone's intransigence was preventing F1 from developing in new markets by incorporating social media. It is therefore a travesty for Sky TV and Liberty Media to be representing that Lewis Hamilton's dominance was killing the sport. It should be noted that Sky TV began life as part of the Murdoch media empire. The extent that Rupert Murdoch is prepared to go to make a profit from pandering to right-wing extremism is on par with that of John Malone. Sky is now presently owned by another media mogul and Murdoch frenemy, Brian Roberts of Comcast. Unlike the Trump-supporting Malone and Murdoch, Roberts was a Hillary Clinton-supporting Democrat. However, like his fellow media moguls, Roberts and Comcast have faced allegations of racism. The compelling evidence suggests that the Hamilton dominance excuse was a convenient distraction for Sky TV, and a dog whistle for both of them, who knew that the only thing that Hamilton's dominance prevented them from doing was to attract their white supremacist audience. Furthermore, it is well established that any sporting event benefits from periods of domination by larger-than-life champions, who can transcend their sports and whose achievements should be respected. Mike Tyson, Alberto Tomba, Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, Bjorn Borg, Valentino Rossi, Williams sisters, Roger Federer, Conor McGregor and Muhammad Ali, to name but a few. Liberty Media representing that Lewis Hamilton's dominance was turning off fans, runs contrary to the established fact that his popularity transcends the sport, and he is actually bringing in new fans. It also sits rather oddly with the fact that in their efforts to promote F1, Liberty Media employed the services of the lady who made her reputation promoting Usain Bolt. Lewis Hamilton's dominance did not stop Liberty Media from recognizing F1 as the pinnacle of motorsport and buying the commercial rights. In conclusion, there is no evidence to support the assertion that Lewis Hamilton's dominance was making the sports boring. There is evidence to show that F1 is actually getting more exciting with more overtaking being done. The evidence also shows that the problems with attracting more viewers revolve around the move to pay TV and Bernie's refusal to incorporate digital platforms. However, Liberty Media's protege, Steve Bannon, has demonstrated that a false narrative can assume the appearance of truth, when repeated often and amplified through a media platform to a willing audience. In our next video we will address the lies from Liberty Media and their accomplices about Lewis Hamilton's popularity.